to the second part of what to practice. We've already went over some of the things that you can add to your practice routine. Now let's take a look at some other things that we can also include in our practice routine. With both of these videos, please leave me a comment, a message on what things are working for you already, which things you already do, and which things you would like to do more of. The next part is the tricky bits. I come across this all the time with my students when they're trying to learn something and they're just so desperate to play the song right through, they stumble over the tricky parts and get on to the next part. And the thing is, you can see it when you watch them play. You can tell when that tricky part's coming up because they start to stumble and get confused with what they're doing, but they never actually spend time working on those bits on their own. For me, what I think can really, really help is really breaking it down. We spoke about isolating it before, but once you've isolated it, break it down. It's going to make you a better player because it means that every single note that you play is going to be so much better because you have spent quality time on that piece. For example, you might be learning some inverted chords. You might be learning G to C. And there might be a little bit in the song where you're maybe doing a little finger picking pattern and you're trying to get the chords as well and you're trying to learn it all at once, but you just stumble over it and then go back to the next part of the song. But if you actually take that part out, okay, I'm going to work on this hand first. Work on the change. Once you've then got the change, you might work on the right hand. By breaking it down into little tiny, easy to digest, easy to play chunks, this will work so much better. Isolating these things, spending a little bit of time on it, will make a huge, huge, huge difference. And this is the same for anything that you find difficult. Remember, it's the difficult things that make you get better and make you improve as a player. So rather than avoid them, embrace it, take it out of context, break it down, and make it your little project. And before you know it, you'll have built a really good habit of working on those tricky bits and all of your pieces of music will sound so much better. The goal is to have challenges and to have successes. It's important to recognise challenges and recognise successes. And each week we aim to turn our challenges into successes. The reason that we also have successes is because it's good to feel good about something. It's good to recognise what we have achieved. If we ignore successes and always think things are challenging, it's going to create a very, very negative atmosphere and environment around your ukulele playing. We should always be celebrating our success and celebrating what we can do and what we have been able to work so hard at and finally are able to do. The next one is performing. Again, this is more relevant for those of you who've got aspirations to be on stage, play in a group, play in front of others. Believe it or not, performing is something that we also have to practice. Things that I suggest to practice performing is mindset and nerves. Being aware of your nerves and not letting them overtake you. Being in control of your breathing. Before you do perform, practice getting into position, holding your ukulele. Give yourself a wee shake of the shoulders is what I say to my own students. Make sure you're really set up and ready to go. Deep breath in the zone. You might want to listen to music before you perform. You might need a little bit of time for yourself. Whatever works for you, spend a little bit of time working on that. If you're practicing performing, why don't you practice performing in front of someone you know and you trust? Practice playing in front of them. We all get performance anxiety. My students get it all the time on Zoom at lessons. Oh, I swear, Sarah, when I was practicing it was much, much better. And it probably was, because when you have to play in front of somebody, there's that whole extra layer of nerve that you have to get through. So spending time working on your practicing and your performing, working on your performing, working on controlling those nerves, controlling the breathing, making sure you're as ready as possible is really also going to help. The last one, theory. Theory also gets a really, really bad rep, and a lot of people, especially when they're maybe learning an instrument for the first time as an adult, they think, why do I need to learn the theory? I just want to play some songs, man. But we all just want to play some songs. However, there's learning how to play a song, and then there's understanding how that song was made. And if you have a deeper understanding of how that song was made and the theory involved, it means that you will be able to adapt that and apply that to other songs that you learn. Now, theory can be very overwhelming. There are so many things to learn and you must be thinking, where do I start? What do I learn first? What's the right thing to do? Keep it in the context of a song. Pick a song and figure out, like, what are the chords in that song? What key is that song in? Oh, key. I don't know what a key is in music. What does that mean? Okay, this song's in the key of F, so it's going to use the chords F, C and B, B flat. I might then look for another song that also uses the key of F. I might notice there's a slightly different chord in there, there's a 7th chord. I might start learning 7th chords as my theory and take it from there. Now that's just one idea. If you really want to take theory seriously, I do highly suggest getting some kind of teacher, following some kind of course, doing a workshop, because that way you're going to get a very structured and progressive approach to learning and understanding theory. But the main thing is that it's fun, you keep it interesting, which is why I always suggest doing it in the context of a song, because you understand how it works a little bit more, and it keeps it a little bit enjoyable rather than just watching videos and reading articles on this is what a relative minor is, this is how this is applied in the circle of fifths, because you know what, that is boring for everybody. So if we keep it fun, keep it light-hearted, maybe work with somebody else doing theory, find a friend that you can maybe do it with, and that will make a huge difference as well. These are just a number of things that you could be including in your practicing. I do suggest that you do implement a little bit of each thing into your practicing, but again, you'll see what works for you. So let me know in the comments which ones you would like to start thinking about doing more and which ones you do already. And any other comments you'd like to leave as well. I would love to hear it. I would love to hear how you're getting on in your practice journeys and how these videos are helping you as well. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.